The following is a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
Welcome to the Spartan Media Network from Playfly Sports.
Lob past Cooper. Oh, he slams it right over the top of Golden. 15 on the shot clock. Fears down the lane. Right at Golden. Back shot good. Oh, my goodness. What a play by Fears.
It is time for the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Labatt Blue Light, we're brewed for the roast. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. And Coors Light, choose chill. Now, alongside Mike Garland and Michigan State head basketball coach Tom Izzo, here's the voice of Spartan basketball, Will Tieman.
And a pleasant good evening to everybody around the great state of Michigan, and welcome into the Tom Izzo Show, as always presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Well, it was a tough Friday at the Breslin Center, no doubt, so I've spent a couple days trying to figure out what my first question would be. So here's what I came up with. Where do you want to start, Tom?
Well, I'm going to start by saying this. You know, you guys, you take a good look. I didn't die. We walk in here and you guys are like a morgue in here.
Exactly.
So
that's interesting you said that.
Sorry, radio people, but you know what? I told you this slate would get rougher, and I told you that we'd have to play well, and we didn't play as well. You fans were unbelievable. The place was as electric as I've seen it in 20 years. We just didn't play well early. Then we bounced back and cut it to 4-5. And then that 4-minute stretch before the half, it started with that hook and hold, and it kind of changed some things. And they went on like a 16-2 run or something, or 14-2. And at halftime, we just talked about it, you know, that we just weren't playing like we play. And we didn't do a good job in the post. We got in some foul trouble. We missed some shots, some pretty good shots, we thought. And so we said, we're just going to chop it apart piece by piece. I said, let's see if at the 14-minute mark, we can cut it down under 10. And because sometimes everybody's trying to get it all back at once, as you know, Mike. And so we're at the 15-30 mark or something. There's a timeout and we're 5 down, you know. And and then played okay. I didn't think great. It was a tough game to officiate, tough game to play, very physical game. And the stoppage was incredible. I've been a big fan of the video, the challenging of, I thought that was smart because I don't think the officials are always, they make mistakes, when you're doing 30 games in a 31-day month, it sometimes happens. And so I thought that was a good idea. I'm starting to question it, not because of us, not because of that game. I watched the game a couple nights later. The games are 2.5 hours now. I mean, it's every time something happens, you go to the monitor and you do this and you do that. I think that broke up some things. And a couple of key plays down the stretch. We're down 3 with, I think, 3:40 left. And they hit a big 3 off a pick. Jeremy got knocked down and they made the shot. We didn't cover it the right way. And I give them credit. They made some shots. They made some plays. And we didn't. So disappointed for me, my team, my program, but I'm more disappointed for all of you because it's the fans that get caught up in the rivalries almost more than anybody. But it's a very good Michigan team. I mean, they're one of the top teams in the country. And I told you we'd have to play our best, and we didn't play our best. And so some of that falls on me, some on the players. But I live for another day. I'll get another shot.
Well, the one thing that's interesting about the schedule.
What's interesting?
Well, it's not easy, but what it does present to Michigan State is MSU can get a piece of this championship, and it doesn't need help from anybody.
Oh, well, we got 9 games left, so you're 0 for 2 as far as on your thoughts of what you want to talk about today. I'm trying to go to Minnesota and win a game, and we got a lot of issues up there, boy, with what's going on up there. We've kind of, I guess, have to change hotels and move around, and so it's a mess. But this team is good. If you look at the 8 games they lost, they just had a 20-point lead at halftime over Wisconsin and lost. They led Illinois at Illinois in the second half and lost. They led Nebraska at home and lost. They went to Ohio State and went into overtime and lost. This is a very well-coached, good game, good team, tough place to play. So we got our work cut out. I mean, that's going to be the next 9 games. So we're just going to worry about one game at a time and not worry about what we got to do to accomplish certain goals. We got a long way to go. We have to get much better. We did not play very well, if you ask me. And so that's what I'm worried about. No insult to your question. Well, not total insult, a little bit of an insult. But more importantly, we've had 2 good practices. We'll see if that brings something about.
Chief, you mentioned earlier about the stoppage of play. And I've always thought, because our game is running. We're gonna defend, rebound, and run. And video, I was always a little different than you with that because I just felt that advantage we have when the game is just going lickety split without stoppage of play. You train our guys to do that, and it's to our advantage. Like even in the game on Friday, we made that comeback, man. We were pushing that ball, and then all of a sudden we go up 1, and then stoppage of play. I thought that hurt us. I really did. I thought it hurt us.
Well, I'm just not a fan of it as much because it just can happen so often.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I watched the Arkansas-Kentucky game. There were 7 technicals. There was more stoppage. I called John Calipari in the morning. I said, "You just get back from the game, or, did it?" I fell asleep. Did it end at 1, 2 in the morning? What did it do? And I guess that's nobody's fault, but it just makes me question. I would agree with you.
When you can make fatigue an ally, like we have done, it's a big time advantage.
That's why you should be the chief.
No, I'll let you do that.
Well, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to work on my 3rd question. We'll be back with more in a moment right here on the Time to you by Auto Owners Insurance.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
If auto owners make sense for you.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.ufmhealthsparrow.org.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Calling hard seltzer lovers. Searching for the tastiest seltzer? Look no further. Neutral Vodka Seltzer is absolutely delicious. Made with real vodka and real juice, Neutral keeps it tasty with every sip. With flavors like pineapple, watermelon, orange, and lime, there's something for everyone. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch. Neutral flavored vodka and carbonation, 4.5% alcohol by volume, St. Louis, Missouri.
And welcome back to the Coach Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And this evening, we are live at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. If you want to join our audience for any of our MSU Coaches shows, make a reservation by emailing coachesshows at onenorthdining.com. And when you shop in Meijer, you help support hundreds of local teams across the Midwest, from big league stadiums to the neighborhood ball field. Learn more at Meijer.com/community. Well, my third attempt at a question really isn't that, but I think it is kind of a neat thing. We talked last week about how Jeremy Fears was one of the Big Ten players of the week, and it had been several seasons since we had a player, even though we had been winning some titles. Well, guess who got to repeat? Jeremy Fears has been announced as a player of the week again this week. Not bad, huh? 29 points one night, 31 points against Michigan. And by the way, he's in the hunt for leading the nation in assists, despite all this crazy scoring of late, 10 straight double-digit games. He is now trailing Braden Smith of Purdue by 3 assists. 3.
Well, I think that's one of the good things, Yeah, he's scoring more. And one of the reasons he's scoring more, he's in those 2 games, he got to the free throw line. I think it was 29 times or something, and he's shooting 92%. So it's not like he's just taking all these shots. He's getting fouled. He's getting to the free throw line. He made, I think, 15 out of 17 and 13 out of 14 in 2 games. So that's 31 free throws, and that's really helped his scoring. And but he still had 17 assists in 1 game. He had 9 assists in 1 game and 7 assists in 1 game. So he's still, dealing it out. I mean, we just have not. We started out the game. We were down 14-4. We were supposed to double down a little bit on their post, and he did a good job and went to work and scored some baskets. And we got Coop in a little bit of foul trouble, and so we had to play Jackson more minutes. And I'm just giving you all the things that happen in a game that you have to make decisions. I was asked today at my press conference by the the media, that, we're getting a lot of calls on people, why did you take Coop out? And, just because he had 2 fouls. And so let me tell you what goes into that train of thought. We were back down to 5 with 4 minutes left or something in the half.
Yep.
And then they exploded. And you just didn't want to put him. And then if there was 10 minutes left and the lead would have blown up that much, I would have put him in. But with 4 minutes, I said, can't get that bad. And it did. But so they all said to me, people calling in, why didn't you? I said, well, I've done that my whole career, just about. I said, but I remember early in my career, I played a couple guys when you were with me that had 3 fouls or 2 fouls because we didn't have enough players. And I played them, and they got their 3rd foul. And once you get your 3rd foul in the first half, you play completely different.
Right.
So what goes into that? What goes into it is the smartness of the player. I think he's a very smart player, but he plays in the post. If you're on the perimeter, you can stay away from people a little bit more. In the post, it's body on body all the time. The second thing that goes into it is the run of the game. And by the time the run started, I thought it was too close to halftime. The third thing that went into it is the officials. I mean, who's officiating the game. Is it a quick whistle? Is it not a quick whistle? Are they calling a lot of quick fouls both ways? I mean, that's not against them, but you have to take that into consideration as you're trying to make a decision on the bench. So I asked those guys, I said, was anybody around when I started? And of course, nobody was. And I said, well, I had people mad at me because I put him in and he got his 3rd foul. I said, and then I changed that partway through my career. And I mean, Antonio would have 2 fouls in the warmups. Alan Aganya would have 3.
Oh my God, fouled out.
Yeah. I told you he's the only guy that fouled on the jump ball one time. But anyway, love Al. By the way, I love Al.
True.
But so that's what goes into it. So, if you have some good questions, I'd rather answer those than talk up here because I'm sure you have some questions. I mean, we did not play well. Rivalry game. That's disappointing. So it's okay if you're questioning something. So go ahead, question me.
I'm Sharon from Williamston.
Yeah.
And I lived in Ohio all my life until 7 years ago.
So you hate Michigan too?
No, I hate Michigan.
Yeah, that's what I
but
said.
Not MSU.
No,
that's right.
no.
TTUN, the game or the team up north.
There you
TTUN.
go.
Anyways, in 1996, I think it was, AJ Granger came to play for you. He was on Liberty Benton, which was a rival school of Van Buren, where my girls graduated from. So I saw him play in high school. And my question for you is, with the talent and the team chemistry that they had going back then, have you had any teams since that have been as good a caliber and so on as they were?
Not as they became.
Right.
As they became, but when Morris, Antonio, and AJ and Andre, those guys weren't national recruits. Mateen was, and then Charlie Bell came and he had some of that. And then, but most of those guys, when Andre and AJ and Morris, those guys weren't on anybody's hit list. They just came and got better. And then Mateen kind of dragged everybody together. And then Charlie, who I was going to redshirt the year before, remember?
Right.
And Thomas Kelly broke his foot in October. And Charlie ended up starting more games than anybody. Otherwise, I was going to redshirt him.
Right.
So it's funny how sometimes it works, But I had good chemistry then. I have good chemistry now. Hasn't always been good chemistry, but I've been, knock on wood, really fortunate that we've really got some good kids, and we really do recruit that way for the most part. And I mean, once in a while it goes AWOL on you, but it's it's been pretty good. So has there been teams? The one thing that team had that, we don't get credit for, I mean, he doesn't get credit for enough. Mateen was an unbelievable collector of men. Magic was an unbelievable collector of men. When you have a quarterback that can do that, Jeremy is trying to get to that point. But, Travis was, Draymond was that way, but he played inside. So you really need your quarterback to be that. And Mateen was unbelievable at it. I mean, he never had a bad practice, and every day he made people around him better. And that's the mark of a superstar. And so it's not about scoring points. Do you know that one thing Mateen did in his career here? His first year he played, he played with a back brace on from his chest to his below his waist. And
it was designed to do that.
And so he averaged 10 points a game. He was okay. But the second year, I think he was at 16 or 17. The third year, he was at 13 or 14. This fourth year, he was at 11 or 12. His scoring went down. His assists went up. His leadership went up. And he was the most selfless individual. You can ask Mike, you get in the locker room, half these guys, they just take the want to know how many points they scored, how many assists they had, how many rebounds they got. Team just blew that off. He just looked at one thing, the W.
One
cool.
One win.
And that is kind of what everybody's missing a little bit. There's not that same entitlement, and the way we're doing things has hurt that a little bit. And so we're trying to work with Jeremy on that. I had Mateen call him just the other day. He's getting better at it, but it's that's the final cross here that we have to cross.
Well, since then, I've been a diehard MSU coaches.
God
fan.
love you.
Go Green.
Go White.
There you go. And don't forget, every Spartan knows you need a timeout from now and then. So why not take yours at the beach? Myrtle Beach is home to 60 miles of warm, sandy beaches, over 2,000 restaurants, and much more. Enter now for a chance to win your very own beach break getaway. Compliments at Visit Myrtle Beach. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/MSU to enter. Your ultimate beach break is just a click away. We are live from Lansing with head coach Tom Izzo of the Spartans. Back with more in a moment as you're listening to the Tom Izzo Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Hear that roar? That's the sound of Spartan Nation. And Dean Trailways is right there, every mile of the way. As the official ground transportation provider of Michigan State Athletics, we connect Spartans to championships. For every game, every practice, every victory, we deliver it. Elite service that powers the green and white. When you demand championship-level transportation, Dean Trailways is your winning drive. Become part of our team at deantrailways.com.
Spartan fans, Greenstone Farm Credit Services has the home team advantage when it comes to providing personalized lending and financial services. Score keys to a new home through Greenstone's Country Home Lending Services, or call the shots yourself with a DIY home construction or home site loan. Make every season a winner with recreational land financing, whether you're looking for acreage to hunt on or just enjoy. Ready to make a game plan? Visit one of Greenstone's locations across Michigan or find us online at greenstonefcs.com.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics. So crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
And we're back live on the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And basketball fans, before or after games, stop by One North Kitchen and Bar, just 1 mile north of campus. Free parking and scratch cooking makes it for a grand slam. Well, one of the cool things that happens at practice, there was this moment where everybody takes a moment to shoot free throws. And then Tom gets all the guys together when they're done, and just imagine a wall, and on this wall is this humongous screen with a whole bunch of numbers. So when you're talking to the guys, when you're looking at that, what's the conversation like?
Well, we have a thing called Shot Tracker that every kid wears, and Shot Tracker is a deal that Magic is a little bit involved with, and he got us involved with it about 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, a little longer than that.
Yeah,
maybe.
and there's these little balls up there that measure not only where you shot it from, but how many you made or miss. And so we use it for free throws so that guys can't lie, and and so it keeps track. And then on this big screen, we've set it up so each guy is up there, and like it shows you he made 90 out of 95, or he made 70 out of. And if some guys made real low, we all get together and we kind of talk about the guys that did really well, and then we talk more about the guys that didn't do well, and that's how we try to keep it going. We also do that every night before a game at home. We go up and shoot for 12 minutes and see if we can keep it at 90%. And that's the scary part, is we do keep it at 90% a lot. And yet sometimes we've struggled a little bit from the free throw line.
Got a question, Tom?
Right.
I have two questions, and I'll ask them both, and you can answer them. I noticed that Josiah Jervis, if I got his name correct, got named McDonald's All-American today. So I want to know if you want to make comment on that. And the second question is, without giving out any information that you don't want to share publicly, besides playing at the barn, what would you consider Minnesota's top two things that we need to consider when we head there?
Yeah, they've got some good players. I mean, that kid had transferred from North Carolina, who's really, really, really good. In fact, he didn't play in the Wisconsin game that they were up 20. His name is Cade Tyson, yes. And but they're very experienced. They've got a lot of older players there. The coach there is really a good coach. I mean, he used to be at Northern Colorado State.
Yeah.
And he did a hell of a job there. And one of the assistants on his staff is a good friend of Mike and I's. Remember Alan Anderson, who played for us? He coached Alan Anderson, Dave.
Yeah. Trying to think of Dave's last name.
Yeah. And so I know their staff. I know them. It is a tough place to play. My assistants are lucky, though. When I was an assistant coach and Judd used to have to walk up those steps, he got older, and I used to have to get behind him and figure out if I wanted to use my hands to push him up or my shoulder to push him up. And it wasn't pretty. And I used to try to convince him to sit up there because that's what most people do. Judd didn't like doing that. So it was up and down, and that was a pain. Now they've lowered the thing a little bit. Mike and I played there when Minnesota was #1 in the country when we played. They had a guy named Kevin McHale and Flip Saunders and Osborne Lockhart and
Ray
Winey
Williams.
and Ray Williams. And who was the other big guy whose son plays now? He used to play for Golden State, 6'11" guy.
Oh, Mike.
What is it?
Michael
Thompson.
Mike Thompson.
So Mike and I played up there, and we delayed the game at the end. So they had scored 100 points 8 times in a row, and we held them to 97-50. So we stalled at the end.
Oh my God!
But yeah, they're good. I mean, they really are good. They just ran out of gas. They play 7 players, and they've run out of gas in some games. But being at home, I think that helps them a little bit. So,
okay,
good questions.
It's now time for the Alumni Hall Trivia. Today's winner will receive tickets to our next game at home. That'll be Illinois on Saturday. And you get a $25 gift card to Alumni Hall. So, Michigan State recorded its record for the most steals in a game that came against Minnesota. Here's the question. Which Spartan has the MSU record all time for swiping the ball away from anybody? This came against the Gophers. This record still holds today. This guy got X number of steals. The question is, and the number is 9, by the way, 9 times he took it away from Minnesota. Who's that guy? That is the person we're looking for in the name. And Tom knows this guy. So we'll be back with more and try to get some answers, give you some money and some tickets. But first, a break right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
There's a difference between an answer and a Michigan answer. It starts with our team and people like you. University of Michigan Health Sparrow is hiring for a wide variety of roles at all experience levels. Unlock your potential and discover a fulfilling career at one of our award-winning hospitals and health centers. We make a difference every day, together. Join us at careers.ufmhealthsparrow.org.
Spartan fans, are you looking to grow with a company that cares about you, the environment, and your community? At Shupan, our commitment to a better world goes beyond recycling. We're a leading metals and plastics processor, recycler, and manufacturer, and we're looking for you. Join our team and find a career where you can grow and receive competitive wages, benefits, and monthly incentives. You'll be part of a team that's building a more resourceful future. Find your purpose and your career at Shupan.com. That's SCHUPAN.com. Go green.
And thanks for joining us for the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Okay, we have a question in front of the audience, our alumni trivia question. And the question is, one time we played the Gophers way back, and one person got 9 steals in that game, which is still an MSU record. The question is to get $25 gift card and tickets to our next home game, which is Saturday against Illinois. The question is, what MSU player got those 9 steals? And I think we have people who know.
Don't know. Mickey from Lansing, just a guess. I was trying to think of older ones that played defense, but Eric Snow.
That's really a good guess. That is really a good one. No. Okay, here comes another guess.
I bet you he knows.
Mike from East Lansing. I was between 2, but I decided on 2 point guards. Is it Mateen Cleaves?
Is that one word or 2?
my other one I was thinking of was Travis Walton, but
They both are good guesses, but Cleaves was the guy. Yeah, great guess, Mike. Happened on February 14th, 1998. Won that game over the Gophers 71-59. And 9 of those. Can you imagine that? Well, you were there.
Yeah, I was there in living color. That was pretty good. I wish they had somebody that get 9 steals on.
You're not kidding.
On Minnesota, but it is a big week. I forgot that we play Illinois on. Right now, a lot of people have Illinois picked to win the league. You know, they've really started playing good. I thought Michigan was huge. Illinois is way bigger.
Right.
They really are. They're 7-1, 7-1. 6'9", and they're 6'7", 6'6" at the guards. So
right,
overall, a very big, long team with long names. I think they're all
A lot of
cousins. I want to ask you about the Big Ten just a second, Tom. As you look at the top 12 teams in the nation, by the way, we are ranked number 10th this week. 6 of those 12 were Big Ten members. And my question is, I know it's been a while since we won a national championship, and we know we're the last guys to do it way back in 2000. But this league seems to be loaded. Tom, when did it get so good? Or has it always been that good?
You know, that's really a good question. I felt the league has been really good my whole career here. Now, it hasn't been sometimes as good at the top. Sometimes the bottom is really good, and that makes it hard. But most of the time, there's 3. I mean, we've had 8 7 teams in the NCAA tournament year after year after year. And I think it's, it got good because there's a lot of good coaches in the league, but there's a lot of tough places to play. There's not many leagues that you go in and every game you go to is just about a filled house.
Yeah.
Now the West Coast is it's different out there. They flip a coin between surfing and going to the game, and we don't worry about surfing here. So we go to the game, but it's a little different. But if you look at Nebraska and Iowa and, Illinois and Wisconsin and Northwestern now and Minnesota and Michigan and Purdue and Indiana, I mean, those venues are packed every game. And so it's so difficult to win on the road. And that makes teams better too, because you gotta play somebody. And so I think it's been really good. I think right now there's 6, 7, 8 teams. They say it could be 9 teams, but I mean, there's 5 teams. What is the standings? I don't even know.
Well, we have 2 at the top with 1 loss. Then you have 2 with 2 losses. Then Wisconsin with 3 and Purdue 3. That's your top.
So Purdue is like in 6th place. And I'd like to tell somebody that Purdue's a 6th place team. They're really good. So it's interesting. But then it's the bottom of the league, and here's what else happened that the media brought up today that is interesting. I was watching Northwestern play Washington. Washington had some injuries. They got a couple guys back when we played them, but they are really, really good in a lot of ways. They got maybe a first-round draft pick at center. They got one at the point. And they played the toughest schedule early. And so they were naming their schedule as they go. And, we're kind of been in between. And yet I think I was told today that Illinois or Nebraska might have what people think the prognosticators, which half those people aren't dial a clue, but that talk about this stuff, what they think as the easiest schedule, and ours is going to be one of the tougher schedules. So it's just so hard nowadays to figure out where you are and what you are. And that's why I said, we got to take everything one game at a time, because you never know. This time last year, we had just come off those 2 losses out in California. We came home and barely beat Oregon, who wasn't great because of the trip. Then we lost. So we lost 3 out of 4 last year. And then we won them all down the stretch. But our down the stretch is at Purdue, at Indiana, Rutgers at home, and at Michigan. So we have a tough thing down the stretch too. So it's just a matter of getting better every day. And that's kind of what we're trying to do.
But Chief, wouldn't you agree that in terms of getting elite players, that the Big Ten Network had some to do with that? Because now we have a East Coast presence, a West Coast presence, and now kids, you can recruit those kids. Yes, in the Midwest presence.
That's a good point.
And I think that, now a kid in California, we can recruit that kid because he knows that his people at home will be able to watch him, and just the exposure that the Big Ten Network has brought us. I think that plays an incredible part in it.
They brought you exposure. You're right on, Mike, and that's the good news. And they brought you exposure and distance traveled, and that's the bad news. So it's been both. But we got a question, and I didn't.
Gary, don't do it yet. I got through a break.
All right.
Okay, we'll be right back. I also I'd let you know, frankly, you want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief every weekday on all of our Spartan Network affiliated stations, presented by Frankenmuth Insurance. Find a local independent agent near you by visiting fmins.com. The Tom Izzo Show is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We'll be back with more after a break on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Brewed for the fans who can't stop shouting "shoot it," and the driveway heroes who still call raindrops on every brick. Make fun of a ref through the TV like he can hear you, then miss 3 straight free throws on your buddy's hoop. Argue every foul, celebrate every layup, and somehow think you're running the offense from Section 312. But that's the beauty of it. Basketball isn't just about the court, it's the noise, the passion, and the Labatt you're holding while you live it. Labatt, we're brewed for the roast. Enjoy responsibly. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No. First base!
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Hey, Spartan fans! It's college basketball season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of airballs and alley-oops. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the courtside action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU basketball. Go green, go white, SeatGeek.
And welcome back as Honor Owners presents the Tom Izzo Show. By the way, Spartans dream big. And MSU Federal Credit Union is here to support you every step of the way. Whether your goal is to pay off a student loan, build your dream home, or save for retirement, MSU FCU has you covered. MSU's Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of Spartan Athletics. Well, Gary, thank you so much for waiting. Fire away with your question.
Gary from East Lansing. In the Michigan game in the first half, when you had Coop on the bench in foul trouble for a while, and you put Jesse McCullough for a while, and it looked to me like he was doing some really good stuff. But then we never saw him again.
Well, you saw him for a little bit. He struggled a little bit more when the certain lineups were in there. They went small. They took more out, and small means 6'10", 6'9", but it was more athletic team in there. And that was part of the reason. But, and you know what? I had Coop fresh because he didn't play as much first half. Where I think we made a little mistake is we played Jackson so many minutes, and I think he wore down a little bit and missed a couple of wide open shots late. And that's because your legs are gone. He played 36 and a half minutes, which is that might be the most he's ever played. So, hindsight is 2020, as they say, and looking back. But, big games in the second half, you're probably going to go with your veterans over your rookies a lot of times. Although Jesse did play well the first half. The guy that we need to get back playing like he was is Cam, because he can rebound with bigger guys, and he is very athletic and can guard different people. So, when players make mistakes, sometimes coaches don't make all the right decisions either. And but we made the decision we thought was best for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Abu Law Firm is proud to sponsor the Beyond the Arc campaign. Been doing this a long time. Every time we make it 3, they donate $25 to the Izzo Legacy Foundation. Same goes for Robin's basketball team as well. And collectively, the two groups have made 335 threes. That's $8,375. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. So thanks to the Abu Law Firm for supporting the Izzo Legacy Foundation.
Well, I thank them too. And I will say this. We practiced a little bit, but I got to see part of our women's game, and they played really, really well. And yet one of their best players struggled a little bit in the game, and like everybody, I don't know if anybody has enough talent that your best players have to play well in your best games, and your coach has got to coach well. And sometimes we don't do our job. Sometimes they don't do their job, but the women played. It was an exciting game. It was a great crowd there. And I was really happy for them, except that they fell a little short too.
By
Yes.
the way, you got to wait. Don't go anywhere. I have pressure over here. Little pressure. Now I have more pressure. You're looking at me. Okay, I'll read this quick. We are back with more Spartan Basketball and Tom Izzo Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
.org. Here's a club you want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings good up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
At the Capital Region International Airport, we connect our community to the world with nonstop flights to Washington, D.C. and Chicago on American Airlines, Detroit on Delta Airlines, and Orlando, Fort Myers, and Tampa on Breeze Airways. When you fly Lansing, you're just one stop away from over 500 global destinations. And with direct flights to Cancun, Punta Cana, and Los Cabos from January through April, your escape to beautiful tropical beaches is easier than ever. The Capital Region International Airport, your gateway to the world. Visit flylansing.com for more information and to book your flight today.
This is Labatt, brewed for the fans who can't stop shouting shoot it, and the driveway heroes who still call raindrops on every brick. Make fun of a ref through the TV like he can hear you, then miss 3 straight free throws on your buddy's hoop. Argue every foul, celebrate every layup, and somehow think you're running the offense from Section 312. But that's the beauty of it. Basketball isn't just about the court, it's the noise, the passion, and the Labatt you're holding while you live it. Labatt, we're brewed for the roast. Enjoy responsibly. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Well, we're live with Head Coach Tom Izzo of the Spartans, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Anyway, we're ready for the question, Tom.
Hi, Coach Don from DeWitt. All these years, so many coaches. Tell us some of your favorite coaches through the years and why.
Oh, boy.
That'd be like telling you about my favorite girlfriends back in high school. I mean, what the hell, you know? Call Mariucci for that, right? Anyway, you know, I really did. The saddest part of my job now is I loved so many of those coaches that I started with. You know, I mean, Katie and Knight were absolutely phenomenal. Clem Haskins, just absolutely loved the guy. He's great to this day. I still talk to him. Still talk to Gene once in a while. And you know, I mean, in all fairness and honesty, Roy Williams and Jay Wright, and Mike Krzyzewski, and Rick Barnes is a guy I still talk. Matt Painter is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love Matt.
But nowadays, you know, you used to go to a recruiting thing. Mike did this. We used to go to a place called 5 Star, and you'd recruit in the morning, recruit in the afternoon, and then at night you'd go out to eat. And you'd go to the thing called the round table.
The ground round. Yeah.
And everybody would sit there, and coaches and assistants would meet head coaches, and you'd pull out, like the football guys, you'd pull out a napkin and you'd diagram plays. And, you know, now as soon as the event ends, you run back to your room, you call all your players and make sure some of the coaches aren't trying to steal your players. You know, it just changed so much. It's funny, but it's not funny.
Right.
And it's not a lie. And that's disappointing. So most of my guys that really had an impact on my life were in that era, or even the last 10 years, it's gotten crazier, where I think everybody's not as close to anybody anymore because of the reasons I just said. Is that Would you agree with that? I mean, you were
competitive camaraderie is what
it was.
What it was. It was
and friendships.
great.
I mean,
Right.
and
Real
helping
friendship.
people, and I still try to do it. I mean, I still, like I said, every football coach that struggles, I call them and talk to them, whether I know them or not. You just kind of feel the guys that are good guys, but it's a different era, and so be it.
Tell
It is
the
what it is.
audience about your the story you told me about your first head coaches meeting with Bobby Knight and Gene and
Yeah, Bobby,
Yeah,
Knight,
yeah.
Gene, and Clem. I might have told them that.
Oh,
they were deciding on the Big Ten tournament, and we're halfway through the tournament. I mean, through the meetings, and Bob didn't really get along with the commissioner then, so I sat in the back like this in the meeting. I was a rookie, and I didn't know what was going on, and there was a lot of language for HBO, not for here. And at halftime, they said, "All right, go to the bathroom, get something to eat, do this, do that. We'll finish up. We got some things to go over." And these three guys came walking at me, and I'm sitting in the back of the room by myself, and it was Bob, Gene, and Clem. And they all said, Judd's a good friend of ours. And I said, yeah, I know that. And it was my first meeting, my very first one, and they're all big guys too, and I'm sitting there looking up at them, and they said, we're voting on the Big Ten tournament today. I said, oh, really? Okay, great. And Clem goes, we don't want the Big Ten tournament. I said, oh, okay, and he says, and Gene goes, Judd's one of my best friends in the league. And I said, yes, I know that. And Clem says, I named my two ostriches, Judd and Gene. Judd's one of my best friends in the league. And I said, yes, I know that. And Bob said, so how are you voting, boy? I said, whatever way you want me to vote, man, I vote. They said, no. I said, no's the answer. We voted no 10-0, and they started it anyway. But so I learned early that politics plays a big part in this, and coaches don't matter. But Clem and Bob, and God, like I said, I still talk to Clem. He lives on a farm in Kentucky, and he came up here a couple of years ago when Detroit played, because his son, unfortunately, who passed away, was an assistant with the Pistons at that time. So pretty cool, though. Those guys, I'm going to tell you now, they told you the way it was. But if you needed somebody or something went wrong, those guys were rocks, man. They were the best. Loved them.
Yeah.
How would I don't love it because it creates a problem for us. If you're one of the top 5 teams always, or 4, and we've been that a lot. I mean, only one time have we played on a Thursday. And so we've always had a bye till Friday. But what happens if you win and then you play Sunday and then you get shipped out west? It's really hard to play 3 games. So that's what those guys figured. But if I looked at what's best for the league, what's best, the financial part of it, what's best exposure, I'd probably vote for it and not worry as much about me as if I was one of those teams that was 10th or 12th and had a chance to play their way in, I'd probably want it. So I'd go for the good of everybody, and I'd probably vote for it. Thank God. I mean, not thank God, but Bob's gone, and Judd is. And Gene is still. I still talk to him. He just called the other day, but he doesn't recall that as well. And Clem, I don't think cares. He's still raising Judd and Gene on his farm, so it's a hell of a deal.
By the way, Michigan State basketball is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage and Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you. We'll be back to wrap her up in a moment right here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Spartan fans, it's college basketball season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of airballs and alley-oops. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the courtside action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU basketball. Go green, go white, SeatGeek.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Welcome back for more of the Tom Izzo Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We're here at 1 North for the show. And so, 1 North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. We're off to Minnesota. You've talked about how good they are. And it's interesting, their new coach, Medved,
Nico. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his first name. And so they talked about Haskins. Well, he was a manager, and here's how his coaching career began. I found out that Clem called this guy's high school, and he was looking for a student manager. And he went, I got the guy for you. And that was the beginning of it. And he, like you, will talk reams about Clem Haskins.
Well, just he'll talk reams about that's the way you're supposed to start, you know. There is a process. And we've all wanted to skip the process now. And he started out as a nobody. And, you know, when you're a GA, when you're a student manager, it's a wicked, wicked world. And I was one for 3 years here. In 2 years, I got the longevity record. But Nico came up the right way. He went to small schools. He built his resume, got to Colorado State, did an unbelievable job. And he's really a good guy. I wish him success in all but one game a year. Do you have a question?
I just want to say, Sherry from Holt, that the weekend wasn't a total bust for Michigan. Our gymnastics women's team beat Michigan at Michigan, and they got the last 2 years the Big Ten champions. So we do have more teams to support, and that meet was an excellent meet. It came down to it, and our girls are just doing wonderful.
Well, Mike's a really good coach, and I believe this or not, even on a Sunday, I did watch some of that on TV. So I do support all of our programs, and you're right. Hats off to them, and they deserve it. So I agree with you.
So we got about 30 seconds, Tom. Do you feel like your guys are dialed in? The practices have been sharp, or at least it looks like they have been.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is a long season, man, and there's a lot of things that go up and down, and there's going to be, you know, one of the predictors had the team winning. It's going to have 4 losses. The hardest part is when you get 4 or 5 teams that have 1 and 2 losses, somebody's not going to lose, you know, and so it's still going to come down to who plays who, where, and when, who plays who twice. There's a lot of factors, but as always, I do appreciate your support, and don't be like a lot of people out there. You know, I listen to my assistants because I don't watch the social media, but down on this guy because he didn't do this, down on that guy. We lost the basketball game to maybe arguably the best team in the country right now. That doesn't mean they will be in the end, but they are right now one of the best 2 or 3. And we had our chances. We came back. We didn't get it done. Wind it up. Thank you. See you next week.
You've been listening to the Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Tom Izzo Show, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. The Tom Izzo Show is also brought to you by One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of MSU Athletics. Labatt Blue Light, we're brewed for the roast. Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Coors Light, choose chill. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. The Tom Izzo Show is a presentation of Playfly Sports in partnership with Michigan State Athletics. All rights reserved. Join us next time on this network station for all the Spartan basketball action on the Spartan Media Network.